Welcome back to the Dad and Cole Football Patrol.
That's right. Welcome back, guys. I'm Dad.
And I am Cole.
So, Cole, what's going on in the world of NFL football?
So, Carson Wentz had his big charity,
right?
Yeah, charity softball game, and Dallas Goddard hit a home run.
Yeah, that's right. So, Carson Wentz has his big charity foundation, the Audience of One Foundation. So, they had their first inaugural big charity softball game bash. 25,000 fans came out to support the event, and the big rookie tight end Dallas Goddard made a big first impression, hitting a walk-off home run. And then so also some other news coming out of that charity was Carson's really first public speaking appearance since taking part in the OTAs. So Carson was on the field with his teammates. I think a lot of people think this is way ahead of schedule, which for us as big Philadelphia Eagles fans, we make no bones about that. We're big Birds fans. This is great news. So I ask you, Cole, Carson says he's going to be ready for week 1. Do you expect to see him there Thursday night for the league kickoff against the Atlanta Falcons?
Yeah.
You do? Yeah, I do as well. I mean, look, he is a driven guy. He makes no apologies for being highly faith-based, and I think for him that serves him in everything that he does. So he's making the claim that he's going to be there week 1, that he's not going to miss any time at all, and I don't doubt it. So seeing him out there during OTAs, taking part in the individual drills, I'm impressed by that, and I'm not going to...
Lose Nick Foles.
What's that?
Lose Nick Foles.
No, I think we're going to keep Nick just as a safety net, and he's been a great backup for us. And gosh, we know, especially after last year, that you always need 2 good quarterbacks, just like 2 good running backs. But I think Carson's going to be there, and I think that's great news for all Birds fans, and really football fans in general.
So there's been some other big names that have suffered injuries.
Yeah, so that's right, Cole. So we talked about Carson coming off the injury. There's some other real big name guys out there, probably none bigger than Odell Beckham Jr., who I know you like to call him. What do you like to call him?
You say it.
Odell Beckham Jr. High School? Odell Beckham Jr. High School. But yeah, so OBJ, he's coming off a broken leg.
OBJH.
He's coming off a broken leg now. This is going to be good news, bad news, I think, for Giants fan. The good news is it sounds like he's getting close to being cleared to return back to like the off-season activities. The bad news is apparently he's getting poised for a contract showdown. He thinks he's outplayed his contract. He wants to get a new one from the Giants. So this could be getting into a contentious place. But let's put the contract stuff aside. What do you expect from Odell Beckham Jr. High School, as you like to call him? But as a wide receiver coming off a broken leg, do you expect him to be right back on track as the elite top-tier guy he was? Do you think there could be some struggles, some rust? How do you expect him to play?
I think he could be the good player that he was.
Yeah, I do too. I think anytime you're talking about that serious of an injury...
I think he's like going to get to the Pro Bowl. That he's going to be that good.
Okay, so now do you expect that right out of the gate? Or like me, do you think there's going to be a little bit of a rust period, shaking off some rust, getting used to cutting and just getting the confidence back? But I think that's how potentially he's going to start out.
I think that like he needs like some practice and then he's going to get in the Pro Bowl this year. Because like he can catch one hand really good.
He's a dynamic, explosive player. I'm with you. Look. We've talked about we're big Giants fans. We make no apologies about it, but this is a podcast.
We're Giants fans?
No, I'm sorry, I said that. we're unapologetic Eagles fans, Philadelphia born and raised Birds fans. So I have a little bit of a healthy hate and disdain in my heart. That's a bad word. We shouldn't say that. I'm not a big fan of the Giants. So
I like Saquon Barkley.
You are what? You're a fan of who? So, but putting my fandom of the Eagles aside, Odell Beckham's a brilliant performer on the field. So when
Why couldn't you say what you were going to say?
What was I going to say?
You like when you said brilliant.
He's a brilliant player. He is. I make no bones about that. I don't really dig the guy's approach to the game. I think he's a bit of a wackadoo. When he kicked that net and it bonked him on the head, I thought that was one of the greatest things ever. But anyway, all that aside, he's an incredible explosive player, one of the top elite guys in the league, and I think he can get back to that. And I think we're both agreeing he will get back to that level of play regardless of this injury, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Cole. So another big name player who I'm looking forward to having him getting off of injury and back on the field is running back David Johnson from the Arizona Cardinals. Now, he's coming off a wrist injury. So unlike Odell, who's coming off he had a major wrist injury last year, and it happened in the first game of the season. So he missed basically. He hurt his wrist, buddy. I'm not really sure, but he had surgery, major.
He had a bad cut.
He broke his wrist. Yeah. But unlike Odell, where he's coming off a leg injury, I think Johnson should be okay getting right back into playing shape like he was 2 years ago when he had a brilliant rookie campaign. So your thoughts on David Johnson coming back from injury?
I think David Johnson's a brilliant player.
I do too. I think he's incredible. I think the running, the receiving, he's a dual threat guy, 3-down running back. I think, though, the issue he's going to run into is I don't know what he has around him in Arizona, and I don't know what that team has going on, whether it's Bradford or the rookie Rosen at quarterback. I think teams are...
But they got, like, a really good wide receiver. They have Larry Fitzgerald, and
one of the best.
Got Christian Kirk.
Yeah, so, I mean, you're making some good points. I guess you can never get... Fitzgerald, the guy's ageless. He's one of the best in the game. But I don't know. I just have a sneaking...
Yeah, 4-star players, actually.
Yeah, I just think that team, though, I'm not feeling it for them. I think they're in a tough division with the Rams, the Seahawks, the 49ers.
They don't have that good of a defense.
Yeah, I think all three of those teams in their division are better than Cardinals. I just think it's going to be tough sledding for David Johnson. I think he could be an elite running back, but I think a lot of productivity in the running back game comes from, you know, the game flow and the setup of the offense. And I don't know. I just think teams are going to look to take him away entirely. He's going to be looking at a lot of 8-man fronts on defense.
But, like, on replays that I see, he looks, like, really good and, like, fast.
No, he is a dynamic, top-notch running back. I don't doubt that at all. I just think he's going to have a tough go with
like, because he has to play, like, all the other teams, like, twice. And, like, the Seahawks have, like, Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I think he's in a tough division. I think they're a team that's going to take at least 1 to 2 steps back before being able to build around like Rosen and the young guys. So I just think it's going to be a tough year for Johnson regardless of coming off of injury.
Yeah. Now we're talking about Julian Edelman.
Yeah, Julian Edelman, great receiver, great catch guy, possession guy for the New England Patriots. He's coming off a torn ACL. That happened in the
It's not better than Odell Beckham.
No, I think it's two different kind of receivers. I think two different styles of play. But I think the importance of Edelman to the Patriots cannot be understated. He's a critical guy for them, especially with Brandon Cooks departing and also Danny Amendola departing. So I think there's going to be a lot of emphasis.
You think it's going to be a lot of him, like, catching the ball?
I do. I think they're going to need it to be a lot of him because there's just, frankly, not as many guys there right now.
And, like, you can't run the ball to James White every single play.
That's right, yeah. So, but the interesting thing is he played in a charity touch football game with Tom Brady, and he was out on the field and called...
Wait, you have to touch the football?
No, like two-hand touch. So instead of tackling, like, you know how you do flag football?
Yeah,
it's
so
just you touch. Yeah, you don't tackle down to the ground. Apparently, Edelman caught a touchdown in that. So do you think he can come back and be okay? It sounds like he's running around just fine. Do you think Edelman can be the key critical possession guy that he's been for the Patriots?
I'm sad to say this, but I think he could be in the AFC Pro Bowl.
You think he could be back in the Pro Bowl? Now, why are you sad to say that?
Because they're in the other division of the Eagles.
Well, we played them in the Super Bowl, that's right. So they're in the other conference, but they're kind of a conference rival of ours now, right?
Yeah, but we won in the Super Bowl, so that's better.
Sure did, buddy. So, yeah, let's see what happens to Julian Edelman. Now, there's some reports he, like Odell Beckham, might be another contract issue. He may not be looking to participate in their offseason activities. We'll see about that. New England seems to be a whole heap of mess this offseason. There's talk that like Brady is over Belichick. He's had enough of him. Has Belichick lost grip on the locker room there?
Like a lot of good players.
They lost a lot of players, so I think this is going to be interesting. We'll keep an eye on the Patriots to see what shakes out there.
Mm-hmm. Now we're talking about Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, so Dalvin Cook, the promising rookie last year for the Minnesota Vikings, started out on a tear. I guess that no pun intended there, but he tore his ACL. He started out rip-roaring, was on just a great pace to make an impact as a rookie running back. Fourth game, suffered a torn ACL, out for the rest of the year. Now, Cole, I don't know about you, but out of all the guys we've spoken about, this is the guy I'm most concerned about being able to come back and flash.
Why?
Well, I'll tell you why. I think an ACL for a running back is a scary injury to come back on. Those guys have to really cut and be powerful and break tackles with their legs.
Best, person on offense.
Yeah, well, I mean, running back, especially for the Vikings with the brand of football they play, running back is one of the most important positions on that team. And I think it's going to take a bit for Cook to come back from that. I'm not saying eventually he can't be that just dominant running back that we saw in the first 4 games of his young, promising rookie season up until he got hurt. But I think it might take him this season to be kind of a season to get his footing back, and then potentially the following year really comes back to that explosive form.
But they did have, the Vikings did getting into the playoffs without him.
You're right. So I think what you're saying is there's not the amount of...
And they got into the championship against the Eagles, but they lost, unfortunately.
That's right. But I think the point you're making, I agree with you, where like David Johnson being the focal point of the Arizona Cardinals, where everyone's just going to concentrate and try to stop him. I think the Vikings have a little more talent spread out on the offense. Kyle Rudolph, you got Thielen and Stephon Diggs on the outside. So I think they
lost Case Keenum and Teddy Bridgewater, so who's the quarterback?
Well, remember, they made a big splash in free agency. Who is it?
Kirk Cousins.
That's right. Kirk Cousins is there.
I keep forgetting about it.
That's all right. Yeah, I know. It seems like that was a while ago that happened, but I think they even improved a little bit at quarterback. So there's not the sole focus on Cook of having to be the everything for that offense. So I just think for Dalvin Cook, though, coming off a leg injury and ACL, it's going to be a tough year for him.
You had him on your fantasy team last year.
Not Dalvin Cook.
No joke.
I'm kidding, I did.
Yeah.
But I'm holding out hope for him. I'm rooting for him. I love seeing young stud running backs like that. I hope he can get back.
I like the Vikings too.
Yeah, I hope he can get back to form quickly and have a great second year campaign.
So out of those players, who do you think's going to have the best season? And also, who do you think's going to struggle? And also, who do you think's going to be the comeback player of the year out of those people?
Yeah, those are great questions. So leave a comment, guys. We want to hear from you out of Carson Wentz, Odell Beckham Jr., David Johnson, Dalvin Cook, Julian Edelman. Out of all those guys, who's going to be the best comeback guy? Who's going to...
There's like 2.
Actually, did we even discuss... I want to hear from you. Who do you think it is real quick?
It's either Carson Wentz or Odell Beckham Jr. with me.
So guys, yeah, please do leave a comment. We want to hear from you, like Cole said.
And also hit subscribe.
Yes, thank you, Cole. Please do hit subscribe, guys. We want to hear from you. Count on you as active members of our football family here. So please do hit subscribe to our channel.
And if it's your first time watching, I hope you have a good time.
Oh, Cole, that's a very cool sentiment expressed. I agree with you as well, guys, especially for the first time folks out there. Thanks for stopping by and spending some time with us. Oh, what else, buddy?
Nothing.
That's it, guys. Thanks for checking out the video.
See ya.
See ya.